you can still see my eyes if you can see your eye. Who am I? Who are you? Is the journey. So this meant the world. And what I would like to say is, by us sharing our talents, our gifts, our experiences, we will be able to see who is willing to stand for the heart, to voice the heart, to ignite the flame of the heart, which is a portal. It is a tuning fork. It is an instrument of a long, interconnected whole. And it took me a while because I was like searching for a word that's not based on space, quantity. But anyways, the message that I would like to share with the world is, we are the rallying point. We are the Underground Railroad. We are the abundant life from which people can stand on the principles of the Divine Mother, which in basic terms is the heart. Who is the Father but the mind? And the mind is a tool. And what I would like to share is, the revolution is in consciousness. It is in people being willing to detach from having to change people, from having to create some super specific outcome. Even though war, disease, poverty, inequality, exploitation, objectification of the body, the glamorizing the external appearances, idolizing concepts about God or AI or the solution to all problems as outside of our heart. And what are we capable of? Well, with technology, I would say anyone who's listening to this message is capable of being for others what you would like for others to be for you. And that will look different for everyone, but there's a central theme that we, the people, have somewhat become complacent, have fallen asleep to the tradition of the light, of the law, of the flame that calls out evil and acknowledges we are all one. It will still suggest laws and policies, maybe some recorded inscriptions for the process, the foundation, the structure, the process, the steps. But essentially, this message is going to be uncomfortable for some people. But I would like to say, underneath the problems we see in the world is a certain state of consciousness that has been agreed to by the majority to have the conditions we have. And it will change as the majority begins to see the individual having the collective inside. And there still may be most people who disagree with me, but essentially, humanity is within us, and there is a call that goes out from humanity every day about creating massive rehabilitation using nature, using the earth, but also using society and the urban spaces we have to create spaces of convergence, which can look like a variety of different things. But one thing is very poignant, and that is the statement, even if it's without words, sometimes it's with art, sometimes it's with technology, even though whatever side we are on, the more masculine or feminine side, more mystical or logical side, you can blend them to a certain degree, and it seems that the degree that humanity is waiting for is someone to drive around with a megaphone or go to a park with lots of people and talk about there is an ego that wants to label other people as the bad guys, when there are people that have done many things that are inhumane, that are intolerable. But at the same time, we as a human race have failed to call out the elite for twisting the doctrines of science and religion that often creates government, which education is a process into reforming, I guess, forming governments, that science and religion have neglected consciousness, the light of the heart, the mystical intuition of being able to see the interconnection between all life and still demanding intolerance towards the forces that are wanting to concentrate wealth in their hands, that are wanting to blame the environmental problems on CO2, when in fact this is much, much deeper. There are better technologies that don't pollute the earth, like oil. Sorry. That's a mouthful. Where's your proof? There are better technologies than oil. But anyways, the proof. And so my branch of the tree is projecting what some of us may feel in this moment. What are we capable of? What is possible? And building a community, becoming a community, common unity, communion. Each person has different talents and skills and traits, and I think the times are calling us to create a rhythm that doesn't always stay the same, but a rhythm that allows us to come together on the basis of exposing the ego and the elite, exposing evil and what truly is underneath all of this that connects all of us, even the worst of people, Hitler, Stalin, Mao, some say Trump, Putin, Netanyahu, Um, People can name more names. There are a variety of names that are not so talked about in religion and science that twist the very essence of the quantum field, God, as to being something that is not inside our thoughts, inside of our emotions, inside of our physiology, cells, biology. And some people want change really fast because there's a lot of change that seems to be getting worse. But this is to expose the crux of the underwater glacier, the underworld of some sort of being, the sun, the sun, and becoming a brighter sun as we perhaps coordinate, strategize, discuss, write, record, dance, sing, engineer, code, cook, clean, whatever it is. Can we find in our local communities a way to come together using technology, using the principle of common unity, even though there will always, not always, but for a certain time period, there will be extremists that may camouflage themselves very well into agreeing with some of what you believe. But the process that humanity is dealing with, how do we deal with narcissism? And different ranges of narcissism that are masqueraded in science, in religion, government, healthcare. And so can we use the social media technology? Can we use whatever other technology there is in correspondence with the internet to create a rhythm with people, where perhaps at every full moon, or perhaps as our job, we become the space for a reoccurring time that demonstrates there is a solution. And it can be so difficult to talk about, but by us sort of approximating what we all are going through, we can share our voices under the principle of equality to grow in consciousness together, which will then change the policies, the laws, the papers, the studies, maybe certain revelations that seem to be very stuck in the old paradigm. And so if you know someone that has not blocked you, that means they are in some way open to you. And as I share to the world right now, I choose to see every one of you as the world. And do I have anything else to say? Will I use this video to grow and use the tools and technology that I have to create a rallying point from within myself to perhaps this space right here, which is the land of Grey, in some ways Mordor, in some ways the Matrix Can we bring color and shape and sound, movement, and then detach from always having to do something, and remember there is no injustice in this universe, because what we sow, we will reap. And if this is a school called Earth, then we can have experiences for a certain amount of time that allow us to see what pointing the finger is like constantly, without seeing how we can step into our flame that says we, the people, can have prosperity, abundance. And what's that other word that seems to be so indescribable? Freedom. To know there is more we can create together than what we can create alone. And in the belly of the beasts, in centralized systems, especially in metropolitan areas, it can seem impossible to unite, to come together, to share our talents, to record ourselves and others, whether through paper, whether through our heart, through a phone. If it's all interconnected, then what is stopping us from building a school that helps people see we can become a school that allows others to see the all-seeing eye is I. Is it thou or thee? It could be. To see the one in all, and the all for one.